Hey everyone, welcome to another video here on OverTake.gg. You might be wondering, there's a hardware title and a hardware thumbnail, why is not Jonas talking to you? And it's quite simple actually, because Jonas by now has a very sophisticated sim racing setup, and while I absolutely love going out there and race online, no matter if it's Assetto Corsa or iRacing or R-Factor, I'm not a huge fan of building rigs. That is why my rig is a very old SimLab aluminum extrusion rig still, because besides the wheelbase in between, I didn't change anything, just because I'd rather spend time on the server driving than spending time building it. But in this case, we wanted to have a look at the Trak Racer TR8 Pro. And why that fits my case? Because it actually says on the website that you basically need half the time of building it, right? That sounds exactly what I need, because I don't want to spend time building, I want to spend time racing. So we looked into the TR8 Pro for you, and we obviously built it up, and as you can see in the background, it might look a bit different to what you will see during the build-up, because it was past me building it up for future you to figure out how to do that in the best way. And then I tested it over a time of multiple days in different sims to figure out what I like about it and what I don't like about it. So in between there when I built it and now, I changed a few things on the rig. But don't worry, we'll go through all the points, what we changed, why we changed it, and what we think about the TR8 Pro. So let's go.
Hey guys, Joe here. So the boys asked me to show you what they actually got from Trak Racer, so let's have a look together. First of all, they got the TR8 Pro Sim Racing Simulator, which on its own is at 659 euros. Then they also ordered the Universal Direct Motor Mount, which holds the wheelbase. They got the integrated triple screen stand, and at the end, that's a total of 1,057 euros. Back to you guys.
It's actually a lot of boxes, so let's just get started. 3 million boxes. I think I will start with the big one. I think that is the actual rig. So this could be the rest of the triple stand. There's no triple stint. We're not in endurance racing yet. I'm already stressed because I feel like I have to speed up. That is the actual rig. All right, we made it. Some Trak Racer stickers, probably put them on that seat just in case. So we went for the black and red reclinable seat because I thought maybe the ears on the GT one day will be in the way of the camera, because we didn't know where the rig will actually be going to. So if I want to go back to bucket seat, I can still use the other bucket seat. That's the cool thing about modular sim rigs, right? So you can do that. All right, now we have absolutely every base package, because base packages were red, and then the additions that we got are in these standard boring brown ones. So I think everything that was in this had been part of the standard package, means we got that. There's still a few screws here, probably for the seat, I would assume. All right, time to actually open the manual and figure out how to put all of that together. I love the style already of this manual, really. It just says, note, that's the back side, that's the shifter side. Front side, top side, inside, outside. The handle screws are wretched to allow for tightening and loosening when space for rotation is limited. Okay, so we're starting off with a pedal box and the thingies that have the Race Tracker logo on them. So this needs to be the outside, the one with the Trak Racer logo on the outside, and that needs to point upwards, so like this. And then it needs to be screwed onto the... Oh, I got the pedal plate obviously the wrong way around, but we get there. So, I mean, it is damn simple, this step so far. Just great for me. Screwed in the wrong direction again. So, there we go. Quite simple actually. You're such an amateur. You're not touching it until the seat is on it. So that's not how to do it. If you wonder, it's the same in race cars or any car that use bucket seats. Do not ever move them until the seat is on. Why? Because if you do that, then obviously left and right might get stuck in different positions and then you're screwed. Now that we did the first two steps of the manual, I think it's the right moment to get our pedal set off the old rig and put it on this one, because now there's so much space to work on, which should make it very, very easy to put them on. As said before, with the right moment to actually screw our pedal sets on, there's a few things that you can do. One of them is finally get the dust off your pedals. I didn't do that for ages, so there's a great moment, not just getting the dust off, also checking all the bolts and nuts on your pedal set, because hey, you got them apart anyway, right? So why not make sure that you will have a lot of fun with them later on. You can just take this pedal plate off the Trak Racer rig, which is amazing, so you can just screw it down into your pedal set. Make sure that you hit as many holes as possible, basically, to really tighten them, because there will be a lot of force due to the brakes, especially if you have hydraulic brakes, right? So you want to make sure that they really sit tight. You will need some nuts and bolts yourself, probably. We did not count all of the bolts that were available in the sets. We used other ones, but we will let you know at the end of the video in case there might be some spare ones. But yeah, we got 3 in total on this Heusinkfeld Sprint set. That should be good enough. As you're tight, like I said, I checked all of the stuff on the pedal set, and then it's time to actually put that back onto the rig and start with the wheel. In our case, we actually mounted a DD2 onto the TR8 Pro, which means you need slightly different brackets. They're also center brackets in case you've got a simmer cube, or you can basically mount it from down here and just put it on. Yeah, once you have that screwed on, that's more like the base part of the rig done. We got the pedals on it, we got our wheelbase on the rig. Now it's time to put the seat on, and then hopefully soon be able to sit in here and actually race. All right, now that we have the rig in place, let's talk about what we changed up until now and why. A few things right from the get-go. You saw that we put the Heusinkfeld Sprint pedals onto the rig, which in terms of the entire build worked really well. But there was one mistake we did back in the days, because I tried to get the pedals as far up there as possible, which obviously when braking puts more force at the end of the rig, which leads to it flexing a bit. So for the one I use now, I pulled them back, actually just remounted them. I did not have to put it upside down in terms of the plate. I just took them off once again, screwed them in a bit further down low, and with that got rid of a ton of flex. Talking about flex, the rig really is good when it comes to that, for what it is and for how much space it needs, because you can basically use absolutely everything on it. I'm running a DD2 Fanatec wheelbase here and the Heusinkfeld Sprint pedals with, I would say, a mediocre brake force needed, and it works quite well. There is a bit of flex though in the actual seat, since we got the reclining version here. So if you drive with a ton of brake force, or you really do mostly non-ABS cars and you want everything as tight as possible, then go for a bucket seat. That should help a lot actually on this topic. Not that it's bad, not at all. I really enjoyed it, and I did some LMP races with non-ABS cars, but still, I feel it. There is flex. So if you want to get rid of that, just go for a bucket seat. Coming to other things that I would like to change on the rig, as you probably can tell, we changed the triple screen setup, because we had the integrated triple screen to start off with, but that is very far away from my liking. If you have a huge TV and all that, it probably doesn't matter, but I'm running triple 27-inch screens, so I wanted them as close to the wheelbase as possible. Unfortunately, that is not possible with the integrated triple screen, so rather go for the separate triple screen if you want to have it directly behind your base. Another reason for the standalone triple screen is quite simple. You can bring the screens in a bit more. I had the issue with the integrated ones that my screens are so flat and small with being 27-inch that I had them very far outside. So the rear view mirror for me in the side on my left was too far away and didn't really give me the sense of having a proper car around me. Now with the setup we're running here, it's actually a bit closer. Yes, that's still an old pre-built triple, but it will be the same with the Trak Racer triple screen setup that you can buy right from the website. So there's not really a dig against that, but I have to admit, I just overlooked that I really like to have the screens right behind the wheelbase, so it's better with a standalone one. While we're talking about wheelbases, the setup right now works for me, but I would like for future things to have the opportunity to bring the base up a bit more. Unfortunately, that's not possible. That's the highest setting you can go right now, unless you go for side brackets. These work. That's not the problem, as the Fanatec wheelbase is mounted left and right, while you would front mount obviously a simmer cube base, but it's way harder to align that correctly then, because then you have 3 points in where you might be slightly off with your wheelbase towards the screen. So we talked to Trak Racer and they were like, oh, actually these Fanatec side mounts are more for the rigs that don't have a base plate where you can mount them to, so best thing to do is to actually mount them directly to the plate, which we did, which is first of all a lot more rigid, and second, a lot easier to align, because you only have those 3 screws underneath the wheelbase. You quickly unlock them, try to get into position, screw them back in, done and dusted. So that really helps. Anything else to mention about this? The rig for me at least, looks a ton better than aluminum extrusion, which is one of the things I really liked about it, right? The build-up itself was super simple to get the base going. So you can go from unpacking this to racing in it in an hour, 1.5 maybe. It's like you're probably way quicker than me because I'm really bad at that, but it's doable. So it's not like it will cost you an entire day to set it up. You mount the seat on it will be even quicker with a bucket seat, and you're ready to go because it's only 2 pieces. So what can we say overall about the TR8 Pro? It is an easy to build up rig, so thumbs up, that was actually true what's on the website. It is very, very stable and durable and heavy, I have to say. I expected it to be way lighter, but obviously that helps in regards of the flex. There's minimal flex on the base plate, so as long as you don't running full hydraulic brakes with huge amount, you should be okay with this. Yes, if you build this on an aluminum extrusion rig, there is a bit less flex on the plates, or it depends how they mount them, but there should be less flex on the pedals, but it's really not a big thing at all. But other than that, it was simple, it was fast, it's good looking, and definitely it can withstand the forces of a DD wheelbase without any trouble. There are a few things I would like to change still. There's only these fast seatiness to basically unscrew and push the wheelbase front and back, which is really cool if you have multiple people in the rig. Super simple, but unfortunately that is not the case for the pedals. That is though the case on the new Alpine TRX rig, if I'm not mistaken, so I assume it's just a feature missing because it's actually on the more expensive version. But for the money you spend on this one, it's definitely a good rig. So let us know in the comment section below what you think about the TR8 Pro, or which rig do you have in use right now, or which rig you want to see us testing on an OverTake for you, and we'll get all of that done. I see you next time.